Let's continue with our special focus on the Bihar Assembly election that will be conducted in 5 phases between October 12th and November 5th. The dates were announced by the Election Commission a short while ago. The polls are expected to be a tough battle between the BJP and its allies and the big alliance of the Janata Dal United, RJD and the Congress on the other side. Plenty at stake in the Bihar elections. Let's just find out what exactly the Election Commission, which has said now for the first time every electronic voting machine will also have the photograph of the candidate to avoid impersonation. Listen in and then we'll come to our guests.
The date of counting for all phases together, as you know, would be 8th November, which is Sunday. And the date before which the election shall be completed is 12th November. The Bihar election will be conducted in 5 phases. For phase 1 election in Bihar, the date of notification will be 16th September 2015. That is Wednesday. Last date of withdrawal for phase 1 will be 26th September 2015, which is Saturday. And date of poll would be 12th October 2015, that is Monday. The date of notification for phase 2 would be 21st September 2015, which is Monday. The last date of making nomination for phase 2 will be 28th September 2015, which is again Monday. Date of scrutiny for phase 2 will be 29th September 2015. Last date of withdrawal for phase 2 will be 1st October 2015. And date of poll would be 16th October 2015, which is Friday.
Okay, let's go straight again back to our guests who are there. Amitabh Srivastava of India Today, Ashok Malik, senior journalist, and Manisha Priyam, senior academic. Manisha, what's at stake for Nitish Kumar? You might have heard him there just a short while ago saying he was waiting for the elections to be announced. Is he really keen, or do you get a sense that there is a nervousness underlying that outward confidence?
I mean, there is a sense which is kind of telling him that he just wants to get this over and done with. Not that much enthusiasm. So here's a man who's waiting for his own report card on Bihar, as indeed in the last decade or so governed with his stellar leadership, I would say, but only his leadership at stake. He doesn't have much of a party behind him. The party that he has is a motley coalition of his erstwhile foes, people who had not really been with him at the peak of his power. So he's now testing his leadership card credential along with a new political coalition. So does he pass or fail his state level test? But I would like to add here, Rajdeep, that he's also testing the fact that it is to be remembered that he was one of those, he's an engineer, remember, not Arvind Kejriwal, the first man, but Nitish is by qualification an engineer who was given an employment in a mass rally by Karpuri Thakur. So his long innings of political career on test. If he succeeds, he becomes the leader of that Mahagathbandhan. If he does not, he loses out on the national politics as well as the state level card, and that will be a phase out of power for him in Bihar. So for Nitish Kumar, all is at stake, whether it is state level politics or a national level presence for him, both at stake now. The real battle for him, but in a sense, he just wants this to be over and done with. That's what I sense.
In an interview today, Ashok Malik to the Times of India, Yogendra Yadav actually calls Nitish Kumar a tragic figure. Do you believe that there's a tragic element of a tragic figure? Here was someone who was seen as the icon of development, who came to power speaking out against Lalu Prasad's Jungle Raj. Today, the same Nitish Kumar has to align with Lalu's Jungle Raj.
You know, there are 2 or 3 bad calls, politically bad calls Nitish has taken in the past 2 or 3 years. If he retained his alliance with Modi, let's face it, the BJP Nitish alliance would have been coasting home today with Nitish continuing as chief minister. He broke that alliance, took a gamble that the BJP wouldn't win the 2014 election decisively. That gamble didn't pay off. He's had to tie up with his old friend Kamfo Lalu Yadav, swallowing a lot of the comments and the campaign he'd run against Lalu with misgovernance for 10 years. He has not had much of an organization behind him, as Manisha said. Depending on the BJP and the RSS in the 10 years they were together, and now depending on Lalu's Yadav vote to actually be transferred to him. If it all pays off in the end and works for him, then he's got a second chance in national politics. He's a potential challenger to Modi in 2019. But if it doesn't pay off, he's a man bereft of much of a party, and frankly, he'll be contemplating his future if it doesn't quite pay off for him. Because at least Lalu remains a caste leader with some Yadav votes and some Muslim votes. What does poor Nitish have if he doesn't win?
Amitabh, you agree with that? That for Nitish Kumar, perhaps if for any leader, the maximum at stake in this election is Nitish Kumar. Lalu Prasad at the end of the day has been convicted. He cannot even contest the election or become chief minister. Out of all, Narendra Modi can continue with being the Prime Minister of the country. Amit Shah can be BJP President. Nitish, Amitabh, has the maximum at stake in this election?
Absolutely, yes. And ironically for him, it's a long, dark tunnel. In 2013, he lost his alliance partner, although by his own decision, but mind it, this is the alliance partner, BJP, which actually propelled him to political heights, both at the national and state political hierarchy. In 2014, he lost his stature, political stature. He lost most of the seats. I mean, he contested, he had 20 seats and he was reduced to 2. Right. In 2015, he lost his USP, the good governance. He allied with Lalu. So it's been a repeat of defeats, repeat of reverses, repeats of setbacks that he has been facing.
Right.
In terms of his strategies, from Jitan Ram Manjhi to Mulayam Singh Yadav, a lot of things have boomeranged on him. So Nitish Kumar is at a place where he has to actually carve a new path. He's at a place where if he succeeds, he'll emerge as a nucleus of anti-Modi politics in the country. But if he fails, I'm afraid it can be the end of or a very long hiatus from political heights, from political pinnacle, which has been his in the last 15 or 20 years from now.
You put it well there. Let's just listen in for a moment for someone who's also been a permanent figure in Bihar politics for 2 decades and more, Lalu Prasad. He's reacting to the announcement.
हर पार्टी को कितना किधर क्या लड़ना है वो सब अपना करके हम लोग सब काम करेंगे तो हम लोग पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं स्वागत करते हैं 5 फेज में है एक फेज में होता तो और अच्छा है ना ये 5 फेज में लंबा तो हो ही गया त्योहार वगैरह भी इसी में है तो ठीक है तो है अब तक जो घोषणा हो गया तो हम लोग पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं आप और क्या पूछना आप लोगों को
हर बूथ पर पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स देने की
अच्छी बात है पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स देगा या जो भी फोर्स देगा तो वोटें करवाने के लिए नहीं कि सबको गरीब को वोट देने का मौका मिले कोई रोके नहीं कुछ इलाका कागज में नक्सली इलाका रिपोर्टेड है जबकि नक्सली लोग कहीं वोट में छेड़छाड़ नहीं करते हैं और 3 बजे बक्सा भी तोड़ने लगता है इसे ये गलत है पूरा जनता को टाइम मिलना चाहिए जो आवर है वोटिंग करने का 8 बजे से शुरू होता है तो 5 बजे या 10 बजे 12 बजे तक वोट कराना हमारे जनता के हित में है केजरीवाल का जो चुनाव हुआ दिल्ली में तो जब एक मतदाता खत्म नहीं हो गया वोट देके तब तक वोटिंग नहीं बंद हुआ लेकिन बिहार में 3 बजे भी तोड़ने लगता हो गया ये गलत बात है आप बूथ को क्लब कर देता ये यहाँ पर बोला भी गया था सबको आज जिस मतदाता जिनके पास इनके वजह से वो कार्ड नहीं बना है उसका अल्टरनेटिव इंतजाम करें और जनता को मालूम होना चाहिए कि हमारा वोट जो दिया हम देखेंगे हमारा वोट कहाँ गया ये पता नहीं वो सिस्टम लगाया कि नहीं लगाया। बोला था कि आप वोट डालिएगा तो आपको मालूम होगा कि कहाँ वोट जा रहा है। कोई स्लिप निकलने की बात थी इधर।
फोटो का प्रावधान है, फोटो लगेगा।
Okay, let's go straight across to Manisha again. On Lalu Prasad, what's at stake for Lalu? Nitish has, it's a do or die battle for Lalu Prasad, fighting an election to make Nitish the chief minister.
Yeah, no. I don't think he's fighting this election to make Nitish the chief minister. For him to retain his stronghold, really re-energize his cadres, because remember, his cadres have been, whether we like it or not, caste cadres. In the past decade-long good governance of Mr. Nitish Kumar, this is the cadre that has lost out on being close to political power, all the local level contracts, etc., the making of roads, etc. The Yadavs today are a demoralized force to that extent. So for Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, it's really re-energizing his cadres and his machinery, and perhaps retaining that intact for his children. If you could see, 3 of his children were on stage and his wife on stage at the Mahagathbandhan rally for Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. In fact, it's a fight to retain his fortress, his citadel, re-energize his cadres and tell them that he is a leader with charisma. So in a sense, quite clear now that Mr. Nitish Kumar and Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav are going to these polls for 2 different electoral reasons, and perhaps one may win for what is his intention, the other may win or lose. Let's wait for the results to come out.
You know, Ashok, quick word on Lalu. Your sense in this election as to what's at stake for Lalu. In many ways, you know, he is the great survivor of politics in Bihar. He's gone through ups and downs, gone to jail, come out, and he somehow always survives. And maybe, as you said, Nitish is now relying on Lalu's votes in a way.
I think Nitish is relying on Lalu's votes, and this is, you see, Lalu's Yadav voter is not as gung-ho and doesn't vote for him with the gusto which he displayed in the 1990s. He's been slipping gradually, though a large section of Yadavs still retain a sympathy for Lalu. In the 2014 Lok Sabha election, we saw a lot of younger Yadavs voting for even Narendra Modi. So this is Lalu's attempt to get together his Yadav voters, of course. It's also, in a sense, the beginning of his plan to bring the next generation into the party, because he realizes he spent 15 years as chief minister between him and his wife. He can't really get an executive role now because of his conviction. His best bet would be for a coalition to come in, Nitish to be chief minister for the first part of the coalition, and then hand over to one of Lalu's children. I think that's what Lalu is looking at. He's looking at a succession plan within his party.
Let's just listen into Lalu for a little while more.
तो ये खोखला है, ये खोखला हो गया भाजपा जो हम लोग बोलते थे, अब वो सब हिसाब दे रहा है।
ट्रेन बुक करके
अब
घुमाया जा रहा है लोगों को,
हिसाब दे रहा है। यहाँ के मंत्री, तुम्हें माता, तुम्हें पिता, तुम्हें बंधु, सखा तुम ही हो। ये हालत है भाई देश का। जनता मालिक आरएसएस जिस पर दाग लगा हुआ है चारों तरफ, नकली ब्रह्मचारी सब, ये देश को तोड़ने वाला के पास हिसाब दे रहा। ये बताओ ये कितना दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण ये बात है हमारे भारत के लिए, लोकतंत्र के लिए। इसलिए लोग सावधान हो जाइए, बदला लेना है इस सब बात का। तो आप क्या बोल रहे हैं?
सर, पासवान जी और मांझी जी में बड़ा उठापटक चल रहा है। पासवान जी मांझी ने कहा कि पासवान दलित नेता नहीं है, परिवार के नेता है।
तो इसमें हमको क्यों डालते हो? दोनों तो हमारा दुश्मन है।
मुलायम सिंह को मनाने की आपने कोशिशें की,
वो दोनों तो हमारा दुश्मनी कर रहा है। रामविलास जी का वो कुछ हद तक ठीक बोला मांझी जी, साधारण नेता थोड़ी है, उनका गिनी बुक में लिखा हुआ है। गिनी बुक, हाँ गिनीज बुक है ना, कहीं से रखा हुआ है। 77 में गिनीज बुक में इनका लिखा हुआ है। आज तक कोई गिनीज बुक देखा ही नहीं। बताओ, ये तो सब जो हम लोग बोले कि ये ठीक बोला मांझी तो भी साधारण नेता नहीं ना भाई। वो अब ये लोग आपस में चल रहा है, अपना घर छोड़ के पेड़ पर से जो बंदर गिर जाता है नीचे जमात से, वो फिर गिरोह में कोई मिलाता है इन लोगों को? जो हनुमान अब बंदर जमात में पेड़ पर से गिर गया, छानी पर से, उसको नहीं मिलाता है लोग। इन लोगों का तो वही दशा है। भाजपा बोलेगा कि 5 सीट पर लड़ना तो भग, तो 10 पर लड़ना तो भग। लालू यादव है कि जो मन में आता आंख दिखाता है, बताओ, जो मन में आता आंख दिखाता है लालू यादव।
कौन आंख दिखा रहा है?
हाँ?
आपको कौन आंख दिखा रहा है?
कौन आंख दिखाता है सो नहीं देखते हैं आप आंख से?
आप बताइए तब।
तो आप ये बात है, हालत से ये है।
Okay, so there is Lalu Prasad, the inimitable Lalu Prasad, talking about Ram Vilas Paswan being in the Guinness Book of World Records, among other things. Amitabh, is Lalu's rhetoric wearing thin? Are people still attracted to Lalu in the way they were in the 1990s? How much has it declined? He got 20.46% of the vote in 2014, so you can't write him off.
No, you can't write it off, but despite his bravado, his flamboyance and his homespun acumen, the fact is Lalu Prasad has lost 5 consecutive elections. 3 assembly polls and 2 parliamentary polls beginning 2005 February. And the last time his family member won was Lalu himself in 2009 from Saran seat, and he lost in the Patliputra elections as well. His wife Rabri Devi lost lost from 2 seats in 2010 assembly polls, and she again lost in 2014. His daughter Meesa Bharti lost in Patliputra as well. So the situation is that Lalu Prasad is trying hard to pass on the legacy to his children. At least 2 of his sons are going to contest this elections. Not very sure whether Meesa will also contest or not. There are no formal words on that, but it's absolutely clear that Tejasvi and Tej Pratap will contest these elections.
They will contest? Are you saying both his sons will contest, you believe?
Yes, absolutely.
So there is
both his sons will contest.
So there is a new dynasty emerging. There's a new Yadav dynasty in that sense emerging. Let me, before I conclude, turn to the third element. We've discussed Nitish, we've discussed Lalu. There is Narendra Modi and the BJP. Manisha Priyam, we spoke to Sushil Modi a little while ago. Do you believe the BJP is today the most formidable force? Again, to quote Yogendra Yadav from that interview this morning, calling it the preeminent force of Bihar now?
The BJP is indeed fighting this election in terms of being like a machine politics. If you see, the others are talking of a leadership card, the others are talking of a caste coalition. The BJP is talking of no leadership to be disclosed right now, factionalism all closed. Nobody is talking of many senior stalwart leaders within the BJP talking against each other. Nobody is talking now of which caste and which coalition. Everybody is very tight-lipped. I think every statement comes out of the organizational machinery. So in a sense, a very different type of politics to be seen by Bihar. They've always seen, as Lalu himself said, an election where people could aankh dikha sakte the wo neta ko, a more loktantric form of dealing of people with the leader. This time, it will be a very well-oiled and a very organized machinery where nobody really knows what they can do at their individual level, but the central command and the machinery that directs all of them, that would be in command. Having said all of this, the BJP has taken full advantage of the rallies, pre-election rallies that they have held with Mr. Narendra Modi. If the first few of them were a bit on the margin where I could say that they were not so clearly saying who's strong or not, towards the end it seemed by the time he was ending with his Simanchal rally and his Bhagalpur rally, it seemed that they had derived to the hilt the pre-election machinations that they could do, the politics of largesse, the politics of the bonanza, the Prime Minister coming and telling Bihar that let's blame the centre, I am here as a representative of the centre.
Right.
So, while it was a Lalu Prasad Yadav who used to say that centre ka sautela vyavhar hua Bihar ke saath, or a Nitish Kumar who would say that Bihar needs a special status, it was now the Prime Minister of India coming and saying, here's your special status, here's your special package. So in a sense, he neutralized the main grievance with which his opponents, Mr. Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav, they could go against the centre. So he's in a sense made it a kind of pitch where both the machine politics and the Gathbandhan politics are even right now. Let's see how the electioneering unfolds. And I would see the BJP at its best card right now. Even in the last elections, Rajdeep, the strike rate of the BJP was very, very high. So I would see them going further from there and not receding from there.
In the last election, they actually won 91 out of 102 seats. Ashok Malik, do you believe that in that sense, the BJP is about Narendra Modi in this election? Are they playing this as a presidential election, not by a local chief minister, much in the manner that they did in Maharashtra, where they didn't announce any local candidate as chief minister, but used the charisma of Mr. Modi and the belief that a state wants to have stronger links with the center as their main plank in this election?
You know, that is certainly one of the calling cards of the BJP, that if you have the same party running the center and the state capital, development will be easier and things will be that much smoother. That's certainly one argument they're putting forward, which is a very legitimate argument. Having said that, I don't think they will win this election only because of Mr. Modi or lose it only because of Mr. Modi. It's not really a referendum on Narendra Modi. It is, as I said, an old-fashioned Bihar election where caste, well, constituency level politics, well, choice of local candidate, all of these matter. Bihar is a fascinating laboratory of democracy, and you know that as well as anybody else does, having covered elections there. I think this election is certainly a test for Narendra Modi, but it's much more a test for the electoral tactics and strategies of Amit Shah. Because in a sense, his future as BJP president is also going to be decided by these elections. What the BJP has going for it is that old election slogan the BJP used to come up with nationally in the 90s, that Sabko Parkha, ab hame chuniye. You've tried the others, now try us. The BJP has never run a government of its own in Bihar. And that will give it, I think, a certain momentum. It can say that, look, you've tried Nitish, you've in coalition with us, of course, you've tried Lalu, you've tried the Congress. Now give us a chance to give you the BJP brand of governance.
No,
that can be a compelling narrative if they build it up.
You know, I'm trying to build parallels between Bihar and Maharashtra, because in Maharashtra you had the Congress NCP in power for 15 years. There was anger against them. You've had now Nitish and Lalu in power for 25 years. I'm just wondering whether this Parivartan slogan, the fact that you're not putting up a local chief ministerial candidate because you don't want divides at the bottom, you're going to do booth level management, you're also targeting specific communities. It appears that the Maharashtra strategy the BJP is trying to replicate in Bihar. But an interesting point you made there, Ashok, and a quick response. You believe that if the BJP doesn't do as well as they hope to do, Amit Shah's presidency could be on the line? Is that what you're saying?
I can't make as dramatic a prediction as that, but you know, the fact is, he led the party to defeat in a sense in Delhi, and I'm sure he wouldn't want to repeat that in Bihar, which is why the fact that the party can bounce back and be resilient and win a very tough election in Bihar is something he would be out to prove. So his electoral strategies are up for test and examination.
Can I conclude with you, Amitabh, by asking you, you can tell us in Patna, what is the Panwala of Patna? Forget the bookies for a moment. The Panwalas and the man on the street, what are the odds that he or she is giving for a victory for the BJP versus a victory for the Mahagathbandhan? What is the general perception of the Bihari Hawa kis taraf chal rahi hai?
Rajdeep, the Bihari Hawa is not very clear as of now. But yes, when Nitish Kumar won landslides in 2009 parliamentary polls and 2010 assembly polls, he succeeded in getting and stitching a coalition of extremes whereby the so-called upper caste voted for him en bloc, and on the other side, there was no parallel consolidation of the EBC, Dalits and the OBC voters. In fact, all of them voted for him. The BJP as of now is attempting to repeat the similar strategy in their election campaign. And I've attended 3 of the 4 rallies that Narendra Modi has addressed, and I've seen the kind of response and enthusiasm. People are climbing on wooden poles, and people, young guys,
and particularly younger voters. And is it very much the younger voter?
The younger voters were approximately 70 to 80% in their presence in those rallies, and I've seen them jumping over barricades, breaking them, climbing on the wooden poles, and trying to listen to him.
Okay.
So yes, the groundswell he has been able to generate the groundswell, but BJP success will be contingent upon how much they actually be able to translate this goodwill that Narendra Modi has been able to generate into votes.
Okay, let's leave it there. It's going to be fascinating. And over the next couple of months, we'll have Ashok, Manisha, Amitabh and many of our experts joining us, along with, of course, the netas. The bugle has been sounded. For the next 2 months, this can be your destination to find out who's winning the battle for Patliputra. Appreciate your joining us. October 12th, round 1, November 8th is the counting. Keep the dates in mind.